Okay, today I actually have the privilege, and I say privilege, I actually feel quite emotional as I share this because it's so changed and continuing to change my life, is surrendering to true love. And I'm going to go through each part of that, is life-changing, and how that is life-changing, how we can apply this to our everyday life and our humanity. I'm going to start with just even this morning, waking up this morning. As you do, most of us have challenges in our life. And there's also spiritual oppression and influences. There's generational habits and patterns that we pick up from the moment we're created. There's so much. And we don't need to figure out. We don't need to sort it. The wonderful counselor, the divine counselor, knows and understands us. And he just wants his love to come in and disperse, his true love to come in and disperse. So this morning I woke up, and I don't know why, but before I get out of bed now, this is quite different to what I used to do, I actually ask. He says, ask in prayer and thanksgiving. Thank you for showing me how I am. Why do I do that? Because I don't know how I feel a lot of the time. I don't even know that where I'm at because I'm so busy into doing, or I've got grandchildren here, or things happening in my life. So I need to ask this question of the one who can see me and who lives in me, in all of us. And this morning, when I asked that question, I had the impression and the sense of my body being literally like a great big heavy log. Anyone ever felt like that? So my body felt heavy and full of, I don't know what. I didn't need to sort it, fix it. I just felt so heavy. And I thought, well, this is once upon a time I would have jumped out of bed and gone like, the road runner into doing, fixing, etc. But now I know I don't want to enter life today, this moment, feeling like a log. So all I did was acknowledge it, accept it. These are keys. And then I invited the presence of the one who created me, my creator, the one who's life, light, truth, to me, who is Father, Son, Holy Spirit. But forgetting about the religious even connotations, just the spirit of life, the one who gave me life. I brought my wound, as you might say. I brought my weakness before I got out of bed, and I said, please come into this, because this is not a good state to actually run a seminar from, feeling like a log. So I share this with you humbly, because it can vary from day to day. I can wake up in real joy and lightness. I have no idea what's happening. So as I waited, and the spirit, I just asked the spirit to come in. I had to wait. Now waiting, there's a beautiful bit of word that says, waiting, wait on me. Those who wait upon me shall renew their strength. They will rise up as on eagle's wings. They will run and not get tired. They will walk and not get weary. So I just waited. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm saying this slowly because I want you to get it. If you just try this and nothing else in relationship to surrendering, letting go, this is a gentle way of letting go. So as I waited and acknowledged it and accepted it, it's like going to the divine physician. How can he fix you if you don't acknowledge where you're at when you go to the doctors? True? So I just lay there feeling this way, and normally I want to run away from it. And it slowly, literally began to dissolve, this feeling, this sense of being like a log. And I had no knowledge, no understanding. All I know is I asked in prayer and thanksgiving that he would come and just fill this space, whatever needed to. If he wanted to reveal something, that's fine, but I was just there. So when I came Then I went through the other areas of my mind and my heart and my spirit. And just as we had the wonderful body, mind, heart and spirit meditation by Michael, and my bit of my heart still had a big log of a heaviness, which represented, now I understand, where I'd absorbed worries, stresses, people into my life. You don't even know you're doing it, under my heart, and was weighing it down. It became light as I looked at it, acknowledged it, and I surrendered it to the one who can fix things, the one who can change things. So surrendering means I pass it over to you. I pass it over to you who gave your life for me. I pass it over to you because I can't fix it. I can't change them. I can't do anything, but I'll be available. So I waited. And when I got out of bed, I felt so different. By the time I got onto the computer, I was feeling totally different and in a much better space to share. But I want to share something with you. Does that mean if you do this, that you get disillusioned and despairing because it doesn't always work? It takes time to wait. It takes time to acknowledge. And spending even 5 minutes to start with, and I've been doing this journey this way for a long while now, and even now, I now realise that maybe not every part of me will be fixed up or come to a place of peace. I'll experience peace, but then the peace goes. But then where am I left? But it's all part of coming as I am, just in that moment. And you can do it when when you're with people that are irritable, grumpy. You ever with people that are irritable, grumpy, or abusive? Well, I have been. Okay, yes. So when you're there, if you practice being still each day and you become present in the moment and present to the presence of wisdom within you, you can then, just in that moment of recognizing this bully, this, and they're very insecure and broken as well, but you've got to deal with them. So the situation at work when it's overwhelming and you hate it, just acknowledging it, but just in that moment, acknowledging how you feel about it. So if the feeling's heavy, it's not bringing you up, acknowledge it, accept it. When you look in the mirror and you go, oh, I hate the way I look. I used to. Or anything at all that is distressing to you, acknowledge it, accept it. Don't deny it. Denying takes a huge amount of energy and it just sits in the background as that heavy weight on my heart sat. And on my spirit as well, like a shady, dark space, and there was all this light behind it. It was trying to block the light and lightness in my life. When we have people coming for an encountering session, when they're blocked and they can't break through, and we've done that for now 22 years and probably thousands of people, all we do is ask the wonderful counsellor as a result of what's going on. So you don't have to go in your story. It's confidential. You can do this with yourself. It's in my book. It's on the website. The Encounter Peace in Your Emotions and Your Mind. It's free on the website. You can go back and hear enough that you don't want to feel heavy. You don't want to be blocked. You don't want to be, I don't know, hating yourself or whatever. You're just willing to begin to surrender, despite what's happened, despite what people have done to you. How many people have acknowledged to us that they've been abused, so they're being left feeling like it's their fault. They're full of shame, blame, and it can be a childhood memory, but it sits down heavy on your heart underneath it. It holds you back. Why stay with that when you can acknowledge it, accept it, and just wait for the perspective of the one who created you, who lives within you, who literally wants to, by his truth, dissolve it. And then you can begin to become one with yourself. But the key is, one of the keys I've found, and you all have heard this, but applying it to your life is so important. And that is, I had to be kind of knocked on the head a bit. Who was I putting first in my life? Who was it? Was it my work? My work had to be a certain way, and my venue where I'm living had to be a certain way. My husband, my friend have to be certain ways. Does something have to happen? Something have to change in your life for you to feel this peace? No. But if you focus on that first, and you want that first changed, you're making it, it's called an idol. You're making it an idol, and it's very difficult for the one who created you to come in and change it if you're putting that as your happiness and your peace and your love before anyone or anything. How many songs have you heard on the radio about true love, and I loved you, then you broke my heart, and just about every song, a lot of songs that I listen to about relationships. If you begin this relationship, as I've just said a moment ago, even lying in bed first thing in the morning, sitting with yourself, sitting in the uncomfortableness of who you are and asking him to reveal your feelings, thoughts, beliefs, then waiting for his perspective. Wow, you will see incredible transformation as you experience this in your heart, as I have. I used to have lots of bullies coming at me, tearing me to shreds. I have had all sorts of drama going on where I literally couldn't change it with my children. And it goes on. We've all got our stories. I had an accident recently. That was the last seminar where I could have not been here. I couldn't stop us being killed at that moment, in that second. It is by grace that I'm actually still here. So how many situations have you had? Trauma, shock, people that have told you that you're no good, that you're useless, parents, etc. All you have to do is acknowledge it and bring it to the one who wants to speak his truth in it. And as he speaks his truth, it begins to dissolve. You're actually surrendering it to true love. What's true love? True love for me is, and this is why he says, he commands us. And if you don't know him, ask him. Love me first with all of your heart. Why? And I used to think he was a bit of egomaniac, he wants all of our love. He's going to, and I know other people say to him, he's maybe going to control us. He'll never control you. So all of our human relationships affect our relationship with our Creator. So he wants us to love him first and put him first. And if we just begin to do it one moment at a time, one day at a time, and come as we are in our brokenness, it is to protect us, to protect our heart, being made heavy, being shattered, being broken, allowing others to keep abusing us. And it repeats itself if we don't resolve it, in my experience. So be brave enough to acknowledge it. And today you'll get that opportunity to do that. So when do you do it? Only when you're struggling, only when you're off centre, only when you're feeling heavy or life feels blah, or what's the point? Or you become despairing because I've done all this and done all that, and I've done maybe prayed or whatever, or you're trying to fix somebody or trying to please somebody, it's never worked. Well, give it up. Surrender it, because it's by grace, which is a free gift, that we are saved. It's by grace that true love, who's already there, just wants to enter in and dissolve and begin to guide your life, your external life, your job, your relationships, your whatever. But he can't if we're running ahead of him. If we're ahead of him and telling him what to do and saying, this is what I want. That's the other thing, what you want. Anyone here ever wanted something? I have, plenty of things. And I have thought, when that person changes, my poor husband, then I'll be happy. Why can't he change? He's upsetting me. Well, now I look at it and I think, well, bully, Helen, grow up. Grow up. Why don't you deal with, as a result of what's happening with that person, it could be your husband, your friend, whatever, not anymore. Our relationships moved through so many stages, we are reaping the benefits of having worked through stuff. Take that feeling, that thought, to your true love, to the love that's willing to. This morning years ago, I had this amazing experience, and I want to finish with this, of the Garden of Gethsemane. And I had a very broken father who had been very abused. And it was trying to control things. We were going to be queens and marry kings, and everything was very tight and everything. He had fun as well. There was weeds and wheat. We're all weeds and wheat. But he had beautiful wheat in him as well, with old ladies. But then the darker side was pretty strong as well. So that influenced me enormously. So I worried about him all my life. In the Garden of Gethsemane, I hadn't kept surrendering him. I think I was burdened with it. So I had this experience, out-of-body experience, where I came before the presence, and I believe it was the Father. I couldn't see any face, a presence. And you've all heard this story, or a lot of you have heard this story, for this is for the new people. And I just experienced his presence. I saw my father, who has passed, come in front of this presence, and my brother, who had been aborted, who now was about, 28, and them hug each other. I can't create that. And this unbelievable weeping that I had. And I wept and wept and wept. And when I came back into the seat, I was in the middle of Mass. I thought, what was that all about? Oh my God. Of course, I had no more worry about my father, my brother. I felt there was nothing about mercy. So true love, you're surrendering to absolute mercy. You're surrendering that bully, that situation, to absolute mercy. So every time you're in front of that job, you're surrendering that job to the one who doesn't want you to be stuck in a job. He wants to be your security, your peace, your love first. And if you wait long enough, you'll begin to experience it. It's not earned, it's in the waiting. Be still and know that I love you. I love you this much. Thank you for listening.